Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Welcome in. 100.7 The Score. It's the End of the Bench. I'm Rob Breaux alongside Craig Wells, Lucas White. We are in the First United Bank studio. You can call in today on the Visual Edge IT hotline 806-771-0973. You can give us a thought about Utah. You can give us a thought about the social media banter going on. It feels like a big game. I don't always judge on social media banter, but it feels like the fan bases are engaged, which should make for the teams being engaged, though they should be engaged anyways, with or without social media. But there's a few players chiming in, mostly from the Utah side. I'll talk about those today. Yeah. You can also hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line with any of those thoughts, brought to you by Yates Flooring Center. That's why it's in the name.
If that game's here, if big noon kickoff is here, whole different atmosphere. And I think it's a tribute to the people of this area and how much they contribute to the atmosphere and the attitude of a football game at Texas Tech. And to me, you always play with momentum during a game. The season could be momentum-driven after this game. I don't think it kills your season, but I think it's a big step to help your season.
This game for both teams.
Right, for both teams. Yes, exactly.
For both teams. Both teams could be in the Big 12 championship. But when you're playing – when Texas Tech, Utah, Iowa State, Baylor, TCU, and these top 5, 6, 7 teams are playing top 5, 6, 7 teams, you have to win those. Because when you get to the end, those are the teams in the tiebreakers. If you go 11-1 and lose to UCF, it might hurt your national standing.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't hurt the Big 12 standing because if anyone else is 11-1, you have all the tiebreakers because you beat the teams that you're tie-breaking against. Yeah. That's how the Big 12 works. So this is a massive game. And I wrote this week on Double T Sports Network how it's a massive game for Utah in the Big 12 sense because just outside of the Big 12 championship in the standings, this is an opportunity for Utah to prove they belong because they have not done that yet. In fact, it's kind of like they should go back to the Pac-12 because they weren't successful in any sports last year.
Yep.
They had a really rough transition. And it's an opportunity for Kyle Whittingham to say, hey, I'm not retiring.
Yep.
That was a rumor. The rumors of my demise were greatly exaggerated. So it's a real opportunity for Utah to come in to the game and say, this is a favorite, but we're also a favorite. Here we are. For Texas Tech, I think it's so strange because I think you can take potentially, let's say we're 100 years from now, Craig. My dream for Texas Tech is that people talk about the first 100 years and the second 100 years.
Well, that'd be cool.
Because the first 100 years, you had some success, but a lot of that success was in the Border Conference.
Mm-hmm.
You won 2 Southwest Conferences championships shared, 76 and 94. And then you haven't won the Big 12. And when Utah talks about their success, you have to have some context, and I'll provide a little right now. Utah won nothing until 1994. 130 years they were playing football. Not even a 10-win season. Now, until the 50s, they weren't playing 10 games. That's part of the joke. But after 1950 to 1994, no 10-win seasons. They talk about all these conference championships. That Mountain West at the time, before TCU got there, was 8 teams. And you just had to be the best of the 8 teams. And it was a really bad BYU program at the time. And nobody else that's Power 5 right now.
Yeah.
What does Texas Tech do in there?
Yeah.
If you're not playing Arkansas and TCU and Baylor and Texas and those teams in Houston. Then you go to the Big 12 era, and they won 2 more of those. I think those were WACs at the time. Then they won some Mountain Wests. Then they go to the Pac-12, and they don't win anything in the Pac-12 for 10 years. And then, all of a sudden, when the Pac-12's at its lowest, and it's breaking apart, and nobody's invested in the conference, Utah wins back-to-back. What a surprise. So I do think that Utah has had a ton of success under Kyle Whittingham. The guy before him was this guy named Urban Meyer. So they've had some sustained success. Absolutely. Texas Tech, on the other hand, is coming off maybe their worst 15-year stretch. In the last 3 years, they've been building a foundation. This weekend is an opportunity to say, hey, we're done with the foundation. We're putting up walls.
Yep.
We're building a residence. And it's national. So I think it's a huge game. And I don't want to overstate it again because there's other opportunities on your schedule.
Right.
But this is the first opportunity and maybe the biggest.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. And by the way, if you hadn't read it on 97.3.com, Rob wrote an article about Big 12 relevance and national relevance. But to your point, Texas Tech did something that is slightly unique in the way they built this and got national attention because of it. They are a natural now to take that national attendance and or national interest and do something with it. Utah is Utah. I mean, they haven't done anything to be anything other than what Utah usually is. But Tech has a chance to parlay a national scene to their football program, I think.
Yeah, if a tree falls in the woods,
that's right.
Does it make a sound, right?
Right.
Well, people are paying attention to Texas Tech right now.
No doubt.
If you fell a tree this weekend, people will hear it.
Yep. The brand is about as on top of its game as it's been in a long time.
All right. We will continue on after this. 100.7 The Score. It's the end of the bench.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It is the end of the bench. Let's get into the calendar.
Your daily look at what's happening in the world of sports, birthdays, and holidays. Let's check the calendar.
It is, and I feel like we have about 17 of these, National Cheeseburger Day. I feel like we have
Cheeseburger Day every other day.
Once a month, maybe.
Yeah.
Me and Choice Woodman will be participating. National Day of Civic Hacking. Wasn't he trying to eat a cheeseburger a week or something for the year? I wonder how he's doing on that.
There's nothing wrong with a cheeseburger.
No, not at all. Hug a Greeting Card Writer Day. I think I could do that. I think I could write greeting cards. They're probably all AI now, though.
Oh, yeah, I would think.
That's probably one of those jobs that got
Yeah.
it got sniped. Yeah. International Equal Pay Day. Locate an Old Friend Day.
That's pretty cool.
Who do you want to locate?
That's a good question. I had an old college roommate that we had about 4 of us living there, and I was closer to two of them than I was to one, but we were roommates. I'd like to know where he is and what he was doing, what he's doing.
I met a new friend yesterday because
go.
my apartment complex forced me to. I got somebody else's package
in
the mail right on my doorstep. And of course now the Prime and the FedEx people take a photo of your door with the package to prove that it was there. So I'm here and I get a call from my apartment complex and they say, "Hey, you got a package yesterday. She's coming by to get it." I said, "Well, it's not on my doorstep anymore. It's inside my house." And they said, "Oh, all right, well, she's coming by." I saw it was like 5 to 15 or whatever. I was like, "I'm not there."
And you're not opening my door to let her in.
And she was like, "Oh, well, when will you be there?" I was like, what are we doing? I'll bring her by the office. I don't want to meet my neighbors. I mean, I know my immediate neighbors, but I don't want to meet somebody from 6 buildings away. And so I was like, okay, I could stop by at 6:30 and put it back on my porch because I have things to do. And she's like, "Oh, okay, 6:30. All right, I'll tell her." So I go home and she's like waiting for me. So I go in and get it. And it was a staple gun, but
so she will always be known as your
Letitia now has a staple gun.
Amazon friend.
Yeah, and then she was like, "I'm getting another package Saturday, so if this happens again," I was like, "Listen, lady, I'll leave it on the porch. I won't bring it in again." You're very nice.
Yeah.
National Respect Day, Read an Ebook Day, and Rice Krispie Treat Day. What are you feeling on the Rice Krispies?
I'm okay with Rice Krispies. Now, probably more as a Rice Krispie treat now than other than Rice Krispies just a cereal. Although
it's Rice Krispie Treat Day.
Yeah,
it's the whole thing. You ever put a little peanut butter in there?
No, I have not.
Next time you make them, put a little spoon of peanut butter in there.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Any birthdays, Lucas?
Quite a few birthdays, all kind of scattered throughout the board. So we'll just start with Rick Pitino, turning 73 years old today. And then we have probably the best athlete to come out of Starkville, Mississippi, Travis Outlaw, turning 41 years old. One of Jamie's favorite basketball players, Tony Kukoc, turning 57. And then we have Serge Ibaka turning 36. Captain America, Christian Pulisic, turning 27. I personally kind of know this individual more from his TV side than his music. Exhibit, turning 51.
Pimp My Ride?
Pimp My Ride, MTV Cribs. And then he's been on a lot of special cameos on other shows throughout the years. And then we have Jada Pinkett Smith turning 54. Jason Sudeikis turning 50. Definitely one of my favorite actors. And then we have Tommy Tuberville turning 71. And then former Texas Tech basketball star Mike Singletary turning 37. And an individual that would have had a birthday, Ryan Sandberg, was born on this day.
Mike Singletary played European ball up to maybe last year before last. That's good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
There was a good duo between him and John Robertson. So,
speaking of exhibit, did you see where 50 Cent is hosting a crime show?
Yeah, Curtis Jackson.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting choice. Good for him.
Yeah. I mean,
some kind of murder investigation, kind of 48 hours later.
50. It's 50 murders or something to be investigated or something. I don't know. All right. I'm going to narrow it down to just a couple of Texas Tech events on this day. In 1954, the first ever win for the Red Raiders in College Station, Texas Tech beats A&M 41-9. The star of the game, 1954,
Let's see. 1954, Donnie Anderson.
Rick Spinks.
Oh, Rick Spinks is my next
2
guess.
TDs and 4 kicks for points after touchdowns. He is a former Tech player from Kermit High School in Kermit, Texas. And so good for Rick Spinks. 2004. Got your remembering hat on?
Okay, yep.
We were down 21-0 and came back and won against
SMU.
TCU.
TCU.
We scored 56 straight. Jarrett Hicks had 8 catches for 211 yards, 70-35. Hung a 70 on them.
Sonny Cumbie they were chanting his backup's name.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll show you. TCU, that's what it was.
TCU. Down 21-0. Come back and score 56 straight.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And kudos to the defense.
56 unanswered at any point is really good, but to do it after you're down is even better.
Yep. And that's this day.
A couple of historical ones. In 1927, the Columbia Broadcasting System, CBS, goes on the air for the first time.
19 what?
27. I'm always shocked by the history of TV.
Yeah.
I never think it's that early, but it is.
Yeah.
In 1895, spiritualist Daniel Palmer gives the first chiropractic adjustment.
Have you ever wondered, I wonder what made that guy think that him pushing on somebody's back or something will help him?
Did he pop his fingers and say, I wonder if we could pop any other bones?
Back.
The New York Daily Times on this day in this year is published for the first time later, the New York Times. Would you like to guess a year, Craig?
27 was TV. I'm on 1894.
Lucas, it's earlier than 1894.
1879.
1851.
Okay.
The New York Daily Times. Pretty amazing.
Yep.
And in 1793, President Washington lays the cornerstone of the U.S. Capitol.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty awesome.
And has withstood everything.
They used to...
Bunch of windstorms inside and outside.
I guess now they do the shovel. They break dirt.
Yeah.
Laying a cornerstone's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Hour number 2 when we come back.
What if there's a time capsule?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It is the end of the bench. Finalizing our pick'em games for tomorrow. We'll get Craig's picks in the second hour, third hour. Maybe the second hour. We'll see what happens at 10:45. But first, let's do some burning questions.
2 minutes of non-stop in-your-face inquiries with no end in sight. It's time for Burning Questions.
Now that the Texas Tech non-conference schedule is over, what is the biggest disappointment and what is the biggest thing that impressed you thus far in the 3 games that we've seen moving into conference play?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Biggest disappointment? That's a great question because it's really hard to say you've been disappointed in anything. Only because I don't know they've been tested, and I think I still have a question mark of what level of good they are. I think they're better than we've had in a long time, but I think the offensive line and how much better they are, there's no doubt they're better. I mean, just absolutely no doubt. But I just wonder how good they really are, and I think against Utah we'll find out. But there's no doubt they're better. The biggest surprise, not really a surprise, but the biggest pleasing thing to me has been so far our secondary. They haven't missed many assignments. There haven't been people wide open running down the sideline or anything, and I'm real pleased with where our secondary is, and I'm going to include linebackers as part of the secondary and their ability to cover passes, their ability to get out in the flats and back straight up and get in the hook zones, and our pass defense has been very good, and I'm very happy that we've made that much progress.
Most impressive, and we talked about it all offseason. We knew it was coming, the downfield passing.
Yeah.
Baron Morton is 4 for 4 with 3 touchdowns down the center numbers, in between the numbers, plus 20 yards in the air.
Yep.
That's really good. There are a few other quarterbacks who are similar in the Big 12. There are a few quarterbacks that are over with more attempts. Devin Dampier is not good down the middle of the field. So we'll see what happens this weekend. Least impressive were worrisome a bit. I would go the run game. I'm not going to put it all on the offensive line because I think these running backs at times have really followed their blocks and gotten in good positions to create good runs. The running backs have looked good at times. The offensive linemen has looked good at times. They've also both looked bad at times. There were a few opportunities I thought Cameron Dickey could have found a way or just waited a quarter of a second and found the hole. Instead, he just kind of puts his head down and runs into the line. So I think a little bit of both there, but I'm expecting more from the rushing attack as the season goes on, even against stiffer competition.
So I'm going to list probably debatable, but the top 5 games of this weekend, and I want you to put in order which ones you would watch, prioritize.
Okay.
So you've got Florida at number 4, Miami. You've got 17 Texas Tech at 16 Utah. You have 21 Michigan at Nebraska. You have 22 Auburn at 11 Oklahoma. And then you have 9 Illinois at 19 Indiana.
Okay. I did it without knowing what was coming next. And here's my reaction. Florida, 5. Was it Auburn, Oklahoma? 4. I think I went Nebraska, Michigan, 3. Indiana, Illinois, 2. Tech, Utah, 1. But after hearing everything, I might put Michigan, Nebraska, 2. Indiana, Illinois, 3. But I would watch all those games. And now that I'm hearing myself, it's kind of Big Ten Rob-esque. But Florida, Miami does not interest me at all. And really neither does Oklahoma, Auburn. I don't like either of those teams. I don't like Hugh Freeze. I don't even care enough about Oklahoma anymore to hate watch them. I'm much more interested in what's going on Indiana, Illinois. Are either of those teams legit? And Nebraska, kind of all of a sudden quietly good. Not often that they're quiet. And they've been making some... They're pretty good. And Dylan Raiola is like a brand new quarterback. We'll see if he is moving into Big Ten play. But he's been really good.
I would start off, of course, with Tech and Utah. My next one would be OU and Auburn. I'm a regional guy, and I'd want to watch that. And one of the reasons this material from Washington State that came in Arbuckle, their OC, they have started out pretty good, and I think defensively Auburn will probably give them as much as they've had all year. I want to see if he's really the difference maker that I think he has been thus far.
Mateer is another one whose Heisman odds have improved.
Yeah. After that, my would be Michigan and Nebraska. I'm a big Matt Rule fan. I like him. I like what he does. I like the way he builds programs. I like how honest he is about his team. After that would be a tie for last would be Illinois and Indiana, because I'm not a fan of Brett Bielema. However, I've heard it pronounced 15 different ways. Or Signetti. I'm not.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I'm not big fans of either one of those guys.
You may not like Bielema, but if you like Signetti, Craig, we're gonna have a conversation.
No, I'm not big fans of either one. That's why they're last. And then Florida and Miami, because I think Florida's getting a lot of hype because of their brand. And, of course, they're getting a negative hype right now. Miami, I'm not I don't know. I'm just not a Miami. I don't know enough about them. I just don't watch them enough. But I'm a regional guy. I'll start off with all the regional games, the SEC, or the Big 12, of course, first, but then the SEC probably second.
There are three of those games on the pick'em. I'll let you guess which three. Maybe I add Auburn, Oklahoma just for David, and apparently Craig.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, I'll let you kind of think about this, but you're going on a road trip. It's going to take you multiple days, so just kind of calculate that. But you leave at 6 a.m. on the first day.
Uh-huh.
How many hours are you driving the first day to get to your destination?
Okay, there's a lot of things going into this, and I'm a road trip guy. If I have a week and my destination is not a week-long thing, like if I'm not just rushing to get to the destination, first of all, I probably wouldn't leave at 6 a.m. Second of all, if I'm leaving, I'm planning out, if I'm leaving at 6 a.m., planning a lunch spot, taking an hour or two, and then planning another 4 or 5 hours the first day. So I'm getting 11 hours of driving first day. Second day, you probably get there at a certain time, so you're waking up at 6 a.m. again to whenever you're getting there to check in or whatever that timing works out to. But I would take my time, and you might even take 3 days to get somewhere and like see some sights on the way.
Yeah. Yep. I've got two answers when we get back.
When we come back,
I've got two answers.
100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back, 100.7 The Score. It's the End of the Bench. All right, tell us your road trip rules of life, Craig.
Okay, if it's up to my wife, she thinks we drive for 24 hours before we stop. I mean, we don't ever get a bathroom break. We don't do it. We just take off. You know, that's my wife's.
Okay.
But 6 hours. If you start from Lubbock and you go 6 hours in any direction, you're going to be real close to a metropolitan area that you got a good restaurant, you got events that you may be going to or something. But I think 6 hours in a car is, I can drive 8 and certainly have, and 10 and 12. But if you're taking your time and you got a week to go, I think 6 hours is about legit for me. But my wife swears up and down that we don't ever stop. We just go till we get there.
It's part of the road trip to find different places, and it's the beauty of it.
You know, I will tell you one thing that my daughter has taught me is when they go on a road trip, they never eat at a brand franchise or anything. They go out of their way to find a hometown restaurant or burger joint or anything, and I like it that way. I mean, I haven't always done that. I've looked for convenience and being able to get on and off the interstate or something, but she has taught me it's worth the effort to go in a little bitty town or whatever to do that. I think that's pretty cool if you do it that way.
Yeah, especially if you're going to somewhere and you're going to be there a few days. Now, if I'm on the interstate, I'll eat a piece of beef jerky or something, but if you're going somewhere and, I don't know, look up diners, drive-ins, and dives or whatever else, I'm much more into that than something I can have here in Lubbock. Or if it's something that's not in Lubbock that is a chain, I'll try that out too.
Yep.
Like I used to go to Papados every time we went to Arlington.
Yeah.
The last time I went to Papados, I swore 'em off forever. Maybe not forever, but I've been back to Arlington 4 or 5 times since, and I've not gone to Papados.
So if you don't go to Papados, does that mean you won't go to Papacitas either?
I've never been. I might, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just that particular Papados.
Okay.
We went, and we walked by we're coming from the back, walk by the whole window. No tables are full. It looks like it's completely empty in there. Yeah. It's a huge restaurant. You get to the front, and the porch is full. I'm like, what? What's going on? Seat these people. You go up to the front. It's dark outside. I don't know what time it was. It's probably 7:38 at least. It's February. Hey, we'd like to table for 2 here. 3-hour wait.
Golly.
What? 3 hours? And she's like, well, it might be 2, just depending on. I was like, how did we lose an hour there? I was like, well, what about all these tables back here? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah, they're there.
What are we doing?
We just choose not to use them.
Yeah, so we left and we tried to go to this other place.
Yeah.
That we never heard of. And we get out of the truck and are walking toward there, and there's like a fight in the parking lot. And then somebody opens the door, and it's like really loud music. We're like, I don't know that this is a restaurant. So we got back in the car.
Maybe not.
And then we found this like fish place that was. It looked like a gas station on the outside. It was awesome.
Yep.
That was awesome. All right. Craig, let's go ahead and knock out some of these picks here.
Okay.
I've got mostly Big 12, a couple of top 25 matchups, at least with one team ranked, and then a couple of NFL.
Okay.
We'll start with the Big 12. If I give you a line, it's against the spread.
Okay.
Tulsa at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's favored minus 11.5.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State to cover with the blackout. Arizona State at Baylor.
Arizona State.
I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow on that pick.
I don't either. That's hard.
Baylor's not particularly intimidating at home.
Yep.
Their fans have been complaining that nobody's going to games again, and that's dangerous. But Arizona State not particularly good on the road.
Their offense has been a little sluggish too. So I don't know. You're right. I
don't know what I'm going to do in that game.
Yep.
SMU at TCU.
TCU.
Yeah. I'm probably with you there. West Virginia at Kansas. Kansas minus 13.5.
Kansas.
Wow. Not buying in. You've been right on West Virginia twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I was shocked on both of them because I thought for sure West Virginia beat Ohio. You had Ohio. And then I thought, well, they just lost to Ohio. There's no way they beat Pitt. And they beat Pitt. You had them both.
that's too big a rivalry, too emotionally high to come back down and go on the road against a good team and win.
Yeah. North Carolina at UCF. Now, I'm picking this one straight up, but UCF is favored by 7.5.
I'm going to go UCF.
That
too.
seems insane to me.
Yep.
Would you take UCF minus 7.5?
Yes.
Interesting. If that line moves any more toward UCF, we'll pick that against the spread tomorrow. But I'll allow you to change your pick if you want to.
I'll pick UCF.
Okay. I'm going to add the 7.5 line just to.
Yeah.
You're kind of a guinea pig right here, but. All right. The final college games: Michigan at Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Nebraska would be ranked next week. I'm shocked Michigan is. Illinois at Indiana. I'm not shocked.
Illinois. The lesser of two evils.
Going with Bielema. Raiders at Commanders in the NFL.
Commanders. Oh, is Daniel still hurt?
He is hurt, but could play, couldn't play, probably won't play. The line is a pick 'em.
Who's the backup?
Marcus Mariota.
I'll go Commanders. I'll stay with the Commanders.
All right. And Cowboys Bears. Another really close line in the NFL.
Cowboys Bears. I'm gonna go Bears. No, I'm gonna go Cowboys.
Okay.
I'll go Cowboys.
And then Texas Tech Utah.
Tech.
And a total points in that game for a tiebreaker.
30. No.
Between the two.
Yeah. 37 total.
I believe that's the under. All right, just in case I flip one of these games out and it's OU Auburn,
Yeah.
who do you pick in that game?
OU.
Okay.
Did you see my staff pick on the Tech OU game? I mean Tech Utah game.
No. What is it?
20-17 in overtime. Somebody scores late to tie it up to send it to overtime. Tech's defense stops Utah on the first possession. Tech gets a field goal to win it. 20-17.
That's more than a prediction. That's that you're like soothsaying there. Yes,
But-
crystal balling. You've seen the future.
Yeah, but my back of my head thought it could be a runaway Tech. I mean, we could score 48 to 20 something because I think we're capable of scoring points.
I think Utah can win a close game.
Yeah.
I've got Tech 24-17.
Yep.
I think Texas Tech can win a close game.
Yep.
I think if it's a blowout, it's Texas Tech. I don't think it will be a blowout.
I agree because I think we can score points easier than they can.
Yeah. If it's a track meet, I think Utah has an opportunity. But if somebody scores 42 and somebody scores 10, I think it's more likely that Texas Tech has done that.
I don't think Utah is going to let it try. They're going to try everything not to let it get very bad with their running game. They're going to keep the ball possession-wise.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It's the End of the Bench. This texter says, Rob waves his pom-poms more than Chuck. Hey, if anybody on these radio stations is waving pom-poms, it's Choice Woodman. You better put some respect on his name. But beyond that, if you're watching these games with eyeballs that know anything, right, you can see that this Texas Tech team is really good. Yeah. And if you're watching these games and just saying that Texas Tech wouldn't be successful against literally anyone else because these teams are the three worst teams in the country, in your opinion, then we're not going to see eye to eye until Monday. But I think that we will be closer to eye to eye on Monday than we are today. And that's fine. If you need to see Texas Tech beat Utah or play Utah well, to believe in anything this team is doing, fine. I'm not here saying what you should think. I'm saying what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking is that Texas Tech is potentially elite defensively and potentially really good offensively, and they have an opportunity to win the Big 12. And if they win the Big 12, they have an opportunity to be in the playoff. And based on what I've seen so far, they have an opportunity to win a playoff game.
You better not be as good as you're going to be playing Utah. If you are, you won't be in the Big 12 championship game. The Utah game is going to give you a great barometer of where you need to be championship game material. It's win or lose, it's going to make a difference in your road to the championship game. But win or lose, how good a team you are, you better be better. You better be better than what you are against Utah. And I think we can be that team. We can be the team that beats Utah and doesn't peak out. We can get better. I'm a firm believer that because of the type of team we have is an older team, and it's a team that has come from different parts, and they all bring something to the table. I think that mixture is going to get better and better.
Do you think let's do a little thought experiment here. Do you think the Big 12 is better or worse than last year as a whole?
Better.
Really?
Yeah.
Top to bottom, you think they're better?
Yeah. Because I think the top 5 teams, 6 teams are better than what the top 6 teams were last year.
You think Kansas State's worse.
Right.
Arizona State, arguably the same, but probably worse without Cam Scadaboo. Baylor finished really strong last year.
But they're better.
You think Baylor's better than last year right now?
Yeah, I do.
I think they're about the same as last year, if anything.
Yeah.
I would say the Big 12 is at least the same as last year.
Yeah.
But Texas Tech is better than last year. And you went 6-3 in the Big 12 last year.
I think Tech's better. I think Iowa State's better.
I think Iowa State's better, yeah. Well,
I think
similar.
BYU is as good. I think Arizona's better than they were last year.
Yes, well,
I think Arizona State is as good as they were last year, but slightly not as good because Scadaboo did so much for them.
Yeah.
I think Baylor is better. I think TCU is better.
TCU is interesting too.
Yeah,
TCU is interesting too. I think TCU after this weekend, if all right, I'll be a Big 12 guy. If TCU hammers SMU, I'm probably moving Baylor down a tick or two in my Big 12 power rankings, and TCU might be 4.
I can't argue that at all. And the schedule that TCU has in the Big 12 is favorable for TCU, I would think.
This is a great question from Aaron Stone. Are you concerned about Barron's ability to handle the blitz? His stats against pressure are not great this far and really aren't great in his career. I added that. I'm high on him and believe he's very underrated, but I'm a little nervous about his recognition of and ability to beat the blitz. There was at least one play against Oregon State where he got fooled, and it was like, oh, that was – it was right there. They line up in a blitz there.
Yep.
I think if Utah does win, that'll be the reason. I think they'll sack Baron Morton 4 or 5 times, and he'll run into some pressure and
take the passing game out.
Yeah,
neutralize it.
And that has to be, if you're looking for a weakness on Texas Tech's game plan, you're either going to stack the blocks and force Baron Morton to beat you, which Oregon State tried.
Right.
And he hit him deep a couple of times. Or you're going to cloud 3 them and sit back and cover 4 and cover 3 and make them run the ball.
I think that's what you're going to do.
And so far you've not been able to do that a whole lot. But if you're also going to be back there and not blitzing a ton, which I think Utah likes to do. Utah's a great pressure team. You're also going to see Baron Morton just nickel and dime you.
Yep.
And you have the athletes to make those nickels and dimes some quarters and half dollars.
I think he's going to use the air raid like Coach Leach used to use it a little bit, and that was he used it as a running game. He'll throw those screens. He'll throw some 5-yard outs and so forth, not with the intention of getting anything but 5 yards, And I was wondering if he didn't have a couple of called quarterback runs last week on purpose to give them a thought that that's a possibility and slow down a rush if they have one. And
if so, that's brilliant because
yes,
I don't
agree.
know that he'll call those very often.
Yeah, and I also hope that this week somebody is going to get with Barron and teach him how to slide.
I kind of like his roll. He's rolling on his left shoulder.
Yeah, but I don't like it landing on that shoulder. I don't like that.
As long as people aren't piling on top of him.
Yeah.
I kind of like it because the slide, especially at the line of scrimmage or the line to gain, they often put it further back than it should be.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Especially when you're at the line to gain, dive.
Yeah.
Or roll, whatever he does.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a dive either. Benchwarmers, not necessarily that it needs it, but if you could bring back any defensive player from any era to help bolster the D, who would you bring back?
E.J. Holub.
Okay.
He's going to stop the run.
Certainly.
Yep. And his toughness, his desire, his love and passion for the game of football, I'd start right there. But there's certainly others that you would think about bringing back, but E.J. Holub would be.
I'd go secondary probably. One of those safeties from the Leach era.
Darcel
McBath or Slay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how long they could last in today's game. They probably get tossed pretty quick. Like a Tracy Saul maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Or go all the way back with
one.
Elmer Tarbox.
Yeah.
I don't know how he'd translate to today's game, but
yeah.
I think if there's a spot on the
Tracy Saul's a good one.
defense,
that'd be up there.
Yeah, 4-time Southwest Conference.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I would bring back Brian Duncan.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Resident Aggie says senior sack. That's certainly not
Yeah.
bad.
Oh yeah.
I just think your defensive line is pretty good right now. Now he is certainly a difference maker. That would, especially if you're translating to, like if you could just take his stats and put him on this team.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
To me, if you could bring a Zach Thomas or a E.J. Holub and put him in the middle and move Jacob Rodriguez and Ben Roberts out there, and then use John Curry as a safety almost, but a run-stopping safety and a short cover safety, I just think that would really improve. Because I don't think Jacob Rodriguez or Ben Roberts, either one, are going in the wrong direction by moving outside.
Rob Glasshouse, Tyler Shuck broke his shoulder without anyone hitting him. Morton needs to slide. I'd have to go back and look at that Shuck play again, but somebody did land on top of him against West Virginia. More after this, but it's the bottom line.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.